No more procrastinating. I'm finally tackling the wiring and the soldering. Soldering specifically. I've been procrastinating, delaying, making excuses, coming up with new projects. But if I want ROVer to move on his own, then he needs to have the wires in such a way that they're not going to come out and he's not going to fall apart at the slightest movement. So I need to do it. So the first thing I'm going to tackle is hardwiring, soldering, permanently affixing the Arduino Uno to the two RoboClaws. So that involves some direct lines, merging all three, Arduino, RoboClaw 1, RoboClaw 2, and as well as the lines that require diodes between the Arduino and the RoboClaw on S2. So let's tackle it and see how it goes. I will kind of caveat, I'll fast forward through the boring parts so that it's not too monotonous. But yeah, let's give it a go. It's been, like I said, a couple years since I did this stuff, so this might not work out. What I thought I'd start with is the simplest possible connection, which is basically getting these two wires permanently attached. So I made the mistake 2 years ago of putting, not the twisting. The twisting actually worked out well for organization of the wires, but I made the mistake of, after twisting them, also wrapping sections of them with electrical tape just to kind of keep them together. And I think I would have been way better off using tiny zip ties or something, because now the electrical tape started to come off and now there's like sticky goop everywhere. I'm sure it'll dry up and not be sticky anymore soon, but in the meantime it kind of sucks. So don't do that. So first I need to expose some wire. So these are the two blue wires, one from each of the two RoboClaws. So the next step was to take care of the yellow wires. Remember, there was 2 pairs of one blue, one yellow for S1, S2 going to each of the RoboClaws. So the blue wires, straight connection, Arduino to each of the RoboClaws. Nothing fancy. Hence, we got this basically Y cable. For the yellow ones, we've got the diode that comes between each of the RoboClaws and the Arduino. So basically it looks like that. And you see that there's a little line at the very edge of the diode, and that line basically indicates direction. So it needs to flow into the RoboClaw, which is on this end. So basically that's the direction, and now we just need to solder it. So let's take care of that. So I was a bit anxious about doing it, but as you can see, we've got some nice soldering done. I'm quite proud of myself, if you must know. My very first soldering 2 years ago was ridiculous. So actually this may look ridiculous to some of you, I'm sure, but it looks very neat to me. And yeah, and I managed to stay away from the diodes. So that's a good thing. Of course, once I reconnect everything, I'll need to test and make sure that it's still working, which we'll see. But so far, so good. Okay, let's check. So now we've got our 2 Y cables. The blue, let me double check that I'm giving you the right instructions here. The S1s, which are the blue, basically it's a straight Y connection. The S2s, however, we've got a diode. So these 2 ends will go to the RoboClaw, and this end will go to the Arduino. So on the 2 lines that are going into each of the 2 RoboClaws, we've got a diode pointing at each RoboClaw. So the line on the diode is on the side of the RoboClaw. So now that we've got our 2 Y cables, let's reconnect them and check that everything still works. Let's take a look. And just waiting for the motors to start. Awesome. All 4 motors turning. Wiring and soldering a success. Wicked. So soldering success. I know it's a small little thing, but it's a weight off my shoulders that not only the soldering went well specifically, but more generally that I'm actually tackling the more permanent placement of things and getting things situated such that ROVer is not as fragile. So, I mean, basically every time I move ROVer, I'm afraid that wires are going to fall off the breadboard and that sort of thing. So getting things to actually stay put feels good. Okay, until the next thing. I guess I got to focus on doing some more permanent wiring. I won't video the whole thing, so I'll just give you guys updates. But yeah, good first step. Until next time. Cheers.